Hey, welcome to a midweek S&P 500 update. Today is December the 2nd, 2020. Before I begin, I just want to ask you to do me a favor. Let me know in the comment section below if you're interested in seeing a video from me during the week on the S&P 500 or the market, or on some stock or some sector, technical analysis, that sort of thing during the week. So let me know, or anything that you would like me to do a video on during the week, because I've been mostly focused on doing video on a weekly recap and the weekly outlook during the weekend. So if you are interested in seeing some video from me during the week, let me know in the comment section below, because if there's enough of interest for me to do some video during the week, then I would go ahead and give that a try. And also, I want to do something that have interest, that interests you. I don't want to waste your time or my time to put out video that no one is interested in. So let me know in the comment section below, and also don't forget to smash that thumbs up for me to help me promote the video on my channel on YouTube. And if you are not a subscriber to my channel, click on that subscribe. Let's go and take a look at the S&P 500 and also the NASDAQ, some of the internal, the intraday stuff here. Right here on the screen here, you can see here, this is the net up-down volume for the New York Stock Exchange. So that's basically is the net difference between the number of shares that's traded up versus the number of shares traded down. So this is basically a net difference between the up-down volume for the New York Stock Exchange. So you can see right here is positive. This is the zero line. So as you can see, it started out negative, and then within an hour and a half, it turned positive, and then throughout the day, it just continued to climb up. And here's the up-down volume ratio is 2.3 to 1 in the New York Stock Exchange. Then down here is the NASDAQ. So you can see on the NASDAQ, it's also maybe an hour or so, it turned positive, it opened a little bit positive, then quickly turned negative, and then you see that throughout the day, it just climbed up. And it finished with 1.93 to 1 on the up-down volume ratio. And here's the Russell. The Russell 2000 finished at 1.49 to 1 on the up-down volume ratio. Then this is the advanced decline. That's basically the net difference between the advanced decline. And I plot this in a 3-minute time interval. So you can see when it opened, it was down here. It came down to as low as minus 1,282 or so, more decliner than advancer. And again, it took maybe about hour and a half to 2 hours, so hour and a half, and you could see that it turned positive. And then now you could see throughout the day, there were more advancer than decliner in the New York Stock Exchange. And it finished off the day with 617 more issue advancing than the number of issue of declining. And here is the NASDAQ. You see the NASDAQ, it opened down also, and it went as low as somewhere around minus 1,600. Then you can see it took a little bit longer for the NASDAQ to come up to a positive. It didn't, they had to wait until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:30 or so New York time, before it turned positive, versus, for the New York Stock Exchange, it essentially is like 10 before 11 o'clock. And it turned positive, right? And this is the cumulative tick. So just basically sort of a little gauge of seeing, what is the buying pressure, on the uptick versus downtick. And you can see here it's pretty much cumulatively it's on positive throughout the day. And you can see there are a lot of 500 above 500 level. When I see these ticks, when it get up to 500 positive 500 tick, there are some some buy program coming in, and then when we get up to positive 800, then there are a lot more buy program, and then once we get into 1,000, that means there are enormous amount of buy program coming in, and vice versa. If we get to minus 500, then there are a lot of starting to see some sell program coming in, and when you get to minus 800, then you get much more sell program active. And once you get into a minus 1,000 or more, then the lot of strong selling sell program pushing the market down. So you can see on the New York Stock Exchange, near the close, we did see a little bit, one spike down to somewhere around minus 700, but didn't get down to the 800, minus 800. So there was a little bit of a selling here, but most of the day it was up at the positive 500. So you can see, there are quite a number of buy programs throughout the day coming in the market here. And likewise on the NASDAQ here, you can see NASDAQ only, after lunch, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the last couple of hours, you see a little bit more buying pressure coming in. See, here's that 500 level, and you see that there are some buy program coming in. Although, it wasn't, that weak, because we are not seeing a lot of minus 500 tick throughout the day on the NASDAQ. But, just a little bit of a selling, kind of chopping around until the afternoon. We saw some buy program came in, and that kind of helped push the NASDAQ back up close to the positive territory. So here's the S&P 500 for today. You see that it opened down and it came back up here. So got positive here. This is yesterday's close. So it got positive, kind of chopped around. Then after lunch hour, after 1, came down, shook a little bit, shook out some of the weekend, and then went back and came back up here and closed on an uptick to close out the OPEX. Right, today Wednesday, so there is option expiration on the index here. So here the NASDAQ, it came down and it took a while and basically just kind of chopped around between up, the positive and negative, green, red, and green. This is yesterday's close. So you can see that it just barely closed above yesterday's close on the NASDAQ here. All right, so that's basically a look, kind of summary of the intraday activity there, some of the internal and how it fluctuates over time. Then also the other thing is we can also take a look at this here. Right, this is the another screen that I have. Here's the S&P 500, and this is also on a 3-minute. I basically just kind of put it in all in one screen here. This is the new high, new low. You can see that it opened, even though the S&P 500 opened down in the morning, the new high outnumbered the new low by 15. And then you can see it slowly kind of increases to 94, more new high than new low at the close. And here is the up-down volume ratio. And you can see that the up-down volume ratio was negative, minus 3.5 at the open. And then it turned positive here at 10:33 New York time, right? And you can see on the at the close it was 2.3, right? And here is the VIX. You can see the VIX came up toward the close, although it's still relatively low down at the 21 level here. But you can see that the VIX actually came down to near the 20 level in the during the lunch hour and back east. And then you look at the put call ratio. The put call ratio is pretty much down at the 0.5 area, close at 0.49. You see here it's actually went down to 0.43. What is that? Yeah, so it's somewhere around the 0.43 area. Okay, and here is the advanced decline, right, on the daily advanced decline. So you can see when it opened, it was minus 1208. So there were 1,208 more decliner than advancer, and got a little bit positive and turned back negative, but turned positive more decisively at 11 o'clock Eastern time, okay, 8 o'clock Pacific time. And you see that it finished out the day at 617 more advancer than decliner. All right, so that is the picture of the S&P 500 and the internal and also the sentiment, right? So the sentiment, still, even though we're looking at this this graph here, it seems like, there's fear coming up, but, you look at the value is still relatively low at 21.24. And the put call ratio is still pretty bullish, right? Sitting at 0.49. That's a little bit under 0.5 here. All right. So now let's go and take a look at some of the EV stock that I have talked about in last week's video that I put out during the week. And here's this CIIG, the ticker symbol CIIC. You see that it came down, right? Broke this support here and try to back test this 2390, unable to get back above it and come down to this 1855. Remember I talked about that, 1855, coming down to the 1855. Now we're going to see, I got a nice bounce here today after the open and came right back up. So it's holding about this 1855. We want to see would it be able to come back up to this 2390 and get back above it. Most likely you'll probably see some initial resistance and then maybe chop around before I make a move above it if it is going to go back up. But if it doesn't move back up to that 2390 or get back above it, and instead come down to this 1855 and unable to hold it, then watch this 1689, right? This high volume node. That's the next level to keep an eye on. 1689. If that gives up, then look for these lower areas down here at 1447, then this 1309. So the key thing is 2390. If it is unable to get back above the 2390, look out below, right? That 1855. Gotta hold that 1855. If it doesn't hold, then we're going to see much lower prices for CIIC. And this one here, Tuscan, right? We talk about that. Somebody was hyping that up on the YouTube, and we say, watch this 1372. You see this hype and came up to this, what is that? 1570. That's a high. So a lot of long got trapped up here. So it came down, found support here, right at this what prior to be resistant, right? Support came up, bumped around against the 1372, this prior high here, and then come back down, found support again, and came back up, lower high, right? Then next time it broke this 1190, and then we say, look, watch this 1075. All right, we got this 1075. Right now it's trying to get back above this 1150. If it's unable to get back above this 1150, look for a retest of 1075, and it's unable to hold this 1075. Then the next level to keep an eye on is this 1027, this high volume node. This is the composite point of control on this volume profile, this composite volume profile. Now, if it could get above this 1150, look for potential resistance at 1190, because it's going to come up and probably will get rejected and pushed back down to retest this 1150. Then if it is able to hold this 1150 and then come back up at 1190, then maybe there's a good chance that it could push through and possibly come back up and try to test this 1242. But all in all, right now, this thing looked pretty weak. So keep an eye on 1150 and 1075. Those are the two levels to keep an eye on. Once it passes 1150, watch the 1190. Right? And if it falls below 1075, watch the 1027 area. And here's this BLNK charging company. Right? Once again, right? All these stock is basically got pumped up. It came down, broke this support 2647, bounced around at this 2388, got this support here, and then pushed through, unable to continue to push up back to the 3279. Instead, it came back down and test this 2388 for support once again. And nope, the next time it was unable to get above the 2647. Encountered resistance at 2647, and now it pushes down. Today, it got a nice pop after it came down on the opening low. So right now, we're going to keep an eye on this 2388 to see would it be able to get above this 2388. If it could hold above the 2388, then look for 2647 as the next potential resistance. But if it cannot get back above the 2388, look out below 1318. That's the next level that I'll be keeping an eye on for potential support. Yes, there could be some immediate little chopping support here at this 1847, 1850 area. But ultimately, I'm looking for this 1318. If it is unable to get back above the 2388. If it get back above the 2388, then the next key level to watch is 2647. And here's Newborn Acquisition, another company that's trying to get into the EV business. Popped up on this high here at 23.25 and sold off. Right, trying to get back above the 17.55. Try to get back above that a little bit here, and that's unable to do so. And right now, it's basically just sliding down until today. It found a little bit of a support right underneath the 12.50. So we got a nice little bounce here. So right now, we're essentially looking at this $14 level. Would it be able to get back above the 14? If it does, then we want to see, would it be able to get above the 17.52? Look for potential resistance when it get back up here. I would probably look at resistance when it get up here at the 14.87, somewhere around 14.87, if it could get back above the $14 level. If it's not, look at 12.50. Keep an eye on 12.50. If it cannot hold 12.50, I'll be looking down here at this 10.01. And here's a switchback. Right? Once again, you look at these stock here. Right? Found support come up. Suck some of the longs here, thinking that it's going to go to new high and came right down. And you see, found support here at this 33. Right now, it's sitting at 29.01, 29.10. 29.10, it came right to today, got a nice bounce off of this 24.45 area. Right? So right now, it's sitting above 29.10. If it could stay above 29.10 and get back above 33, then look for the 36.66. But if it come up and encounter resistance at 33, unable to get to it and get back down to the 29.10, and it dips below that 29.10, then look out below. The next level somewhere around at this $20 level at this high volume node, then eventually get down to the 16.88, this point of control. Right? So those are the levels to watch. 29.10, would it be able to hold 29.10? And then 33, would it be able to get above 33? Now, let's go and take a look at Tesla. Tesla came down here at the 563, got a nice bounce, pushed back up at 598.64, encounter resistance, and pushed back down to the 575.15 area. Bounced around a little bit, and then today it cut right to, went down to 543.40 area into the zone here, and then come back up. Right now, it's sitting above the 563. Watch these levels. 563. If it could stay above 563, want to see would it be able to get to and get back above 575.15. If it encounter resistance, come back down and then cut to 563. Unable to hold 563. Look for a back test of this 543.40 or the low of today. Right? The low of today is 541.21. So look for that test for that level. And if that doesn't hold, then you could see all these levels down here is in play. Right? 526. If 526 doesn't hold, then come down and look for 489. So watch these levels here, 563 and 575.15. If it could get above the 575.15, then there's a good chance that it could get back up to the 598 and possibly to the 600 level. But if it is unable to hold the 563, then I'd be looking for a retest of this low down near the 543 and then 526. All right, that is Tesla. Now let's look at NIO. Look at NIO, how it broken down, right? Once it broke this trend line, it just came right down. Right? Here's the support here at 48.31. Came back up, bump against resistance of 55.64. Came back down, double check this support area at 48.31. And then come back up, look at this lower high. Once it broke this and came back down and broke the 48.31, the third time when it came down, it cut right to and just kind of slide down until today. It went down to this almost 38 level at 38.43 and got a nice bounce back up to this 45.87. So we'll see what it be able to hold above this 45.87 and get back above the 48.31. If it's unable to get back above the 48.31, then look for a back test of the 45.87 and unable to hold a 45.87, then we're going to see this thing work itself back down and retest this low once again. And the low is 38.43. I'd be looking at this low to get retested. See here? These are some of the pivot low here that it tried to hold above. So it came down to this low here today and got a nice bounce. So we're going to see would it get another bounce off of that, the next time it come down. Then XPENG, once again, it's the same thing, right? You know, it came down here, found low support, bounced back up to the near the above the 70, came back down, and found support here somewhere around this 64 area, chopped around a little bit, and then it came down to the 60, came down to this 56.77, then pushes back up and encountered this resistance at 64.26. Then it cut right through until today. It found low support at 46.89. So at 46.89, it came back up and bumped against some resistance at 56.77. So right now, here's what we're going to be keeping an eye on. Here's this potential support and resistance area, 51.27. If it come down 51.27 and get a bounce back up and be able to get back above the 56.77, then we'll be looking at the possibility of moving back up and check this resistance area at 64.26. But if it's unable to stay above the 51.27, then I'm looking for this thing to move down to the 46.89 and retest today's low somewhere around 46.01. And if it doesn't hold this level, 46.89, then we're looking at 39.86. So the key level to watch, 51.27 on the downside, 56.77 on the upside. All right, so these are the EV stock update. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up for me and help me promote this video. Thank you for watching.